angels above. When a child dares to dream to reach the stars and traverse the galaxies, a Kalpana is born. A small town in India. A little girl roamed the woods and roads on her bicycle to the flying club out there. She dreamt of the skies, of the stars, of the vast silence beyond. She had a passion to explore new worlds. Her parents called her Kalpana, not knowing that she would image their cherished dreams and become a citizen of the galaxies. Kalpana dreamt of breaking barriers to prove that there were worlds beyond worlds for human beings to endeavor in their quest. This slender, petite girl set herself goals and achieved them with single-minded determination. Her diamond core sparkled from her eyes and her beaming smile.
I was not born for one corner. The whole universe is my native land.
कि हम पापा को कहा करते थे कि हमें ये जो जहाज हैं ये उड़ते हैं तो बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं। तो मैं उस वक्त ये छोटे छोटे बच्चे थे, उसके भाई को और उसको दोनों को करनाल फ्लाइंग क्लब में वहाँ ले गया एक दिन, और वहाँ जाके उनको वो जहाज तो दिखाए ही दिखाए। और उस वक्त मुझे एक फैसिलिटी मिल गई, उनके जो वो ग्लाइडर है उस पे उनको मैंने सैर भी करवाई थी उस दिन।
I think it's for me it was very far-fetched to think I'd get to fly on the space shuttle, because I lived in India in a very small town, and forget about space, I didn't even know if my folks were going to let me go to the engineering college.
Her first step in education thus began.
She's mentioning in 97 about mentioning me, paying her regards and sending all or whatever. I mean, she could talk about the institution. I owe my all gratitude and all my this thing, what I am today to the institution.
The next step was pre-engineering at Kalpana.
Today she is second to none in the global space research. Ironically, her roll number in the pre-engineering class in this college was 1.
These labs became the initial launching pad to propel her on her dreams of conquering space.
Kalpana Chawla was slightly different from other girls. She was bold enough to face anything. As far as her subject mastery was concerned, she was very curious to ask more about mechanism in chemistry and then to know the geometrical aspect of the various molecules and how geometry is decided.
She was the first woman to graduate from here with a bachelor's degree in aeronautical engineering in 1982.
Kalpana Chawla has been an alumni of this college. She passed out in 1982. She has done PEC proud by becoming a citizen, a global citizen. Not only that, in the words of President of India, she has become a citizen of the Milky Way.
These aeronautical labs have a tradition of determination inscribed there by the perseverance of students.
I was 4 years senior to Dr. Kalpana Chawla. About her, I remember one interesting incident. It is that there used to be ragging at that time also. When she was caught by her seniors for being ragged, so instead of being ragged, she ragged her seniors.
She began a college society that had brainstorming sessions to explore new avenues of science. But Punjab Engineering College in Chandigarh was not to be the end of the road for Kalpana.
तो उस वक्त मेरे फ्रेंड ने मुझे कहा कि भैया ये आपकी बेटी जो ये हमारी बेटी है इतना पढ़ चुकी है और बाकी पढ़ाई इसकी यहाँ नहीं है, बाकी पढ़ने के लिए इसको अमेरिका भेज दो। तो तैयार थी जाने के लिए, चूँकि इसको एडमिशन मिल चुकी थी, 2 यूनिवर्सिटी से मिली हुई थी एडमिशन। क्योंकि मैं 2 महीने के बाद आया था तो ये बड़ी थकी गई थी मेरी इंतज़ार कर करके, लेकिन मुंह से नहीं बोली थी। तो कल्पना जब मुझे मिली तो बड़ा रो के मिली थी। तो कहती पापा आपने मेरा कैरियर ख़राब कर दिया। तो मैंने उसको कहा नहीं बेटे तू बिल्कुल जा सकती है, तुझे कोई नहीं रोक सकता।
Armed with a degree in aeronautical engineering, a head full of dreams, and the determination not to let anything or anyone come in the way of realizing them, she started her journey to Texas in 1982.
Kalpana moved to the U.S. in September 1982, and she moved to an apartment 3 doors down from where I was living. She was accompanied by her brother at the time, and I actually met them within the first hour of her arrival. And we discovered we had many common interests, flying and diving and that kind of thing. And we spent a lot of time together, and that resulted us in getting married in December of '83. Actually, it wasn't a surprise because I didn't know what the context was. I just received a message saying I'm in. And when we reported to Johnson Space Center in February '95, it wasn't as an astronaut, it was an astronaut candidate.
In December 1994, JP received a message from Kalpana. I'm in. She had been selected to be an astronaut. And thus began her special training on the 6th of March at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. It exposed her to a whole new world.
Well, her passion was really for discovery, for finding out new things and having a good time doing it, and doing something that was slightly out of the ordinary. She was motivated and inspired a lot by explorers.
From surviving in choppy waters to learning to identify edible and poisonous plants. From lighting a campfire to making fishing nets from parachute cords. She was trained in the mock-ups and had to tackle glitches deliberately created by mission controllers. The special 2-year training at the Johnson Space Center, Houston, prepared her for space, land, and sea survival, as well as for the intricate operations of the space shuttle.
During my life, I would say I've been inspired by explorers. When I read about these people, I think the one thing that just stands out is their perseverance.
Kalpana, a NASA Ames research student, was first chosen by NASA. She was among the 6 civilian finalists who were selected from a pool of 3,000 aspiring applicants.
She enrolled PhD in aerospace engineering, and her thesis subject was computational fluid dynamics, which is the mathematical representation and calculation of airflow around various objects.
Kalpana Chawla, with her carefree attire and attitude, received her PhD in aerospace engineering at the University of Colorado, Boulder in 1988. Kalpana loved the adrenaline rush while learning to maneuver in a zero-gravity environment in simulators. She had earned her silver pin at NASA. She was selected for the Space Shuttle Columbia STS-87 mission in 1997. She was part of a 16-day mission with 6 crew members doing various scientific experiments and studies. The Space Shuttle was the oldest of NASA's fleet of spacecraft. Its construction began in 1975, and so the fairy tale turned into a reality. Kalpana soared beyond her dreams. Columbia was to go on its 27th mission at 1:46 p.m. CST 1997. STS-87 Columbia, 19th November to 5th December 1997, was the 4th U.S. microgravity payload flight and focused on experiments designed to study how the weightless environment of space affects various physical processes and on observations of the sun's outer atmospheric layers. 2 members of the crew performed an EVA, spacewalk, The 16-day flight was a dedicated science and research mission, working 24 hours a day in 2 alternating shifts. The crew successfully conducted approximately 80 experiments. The homecoming of the shuttle was safe and sound. It was a mission well accomplished, but for Kalpana, it was not the end of the mission, but the beginning. When STS-87 landed safely, she exclaimed, "I'm ready to go again." But she added with characteristic humility, "It was a lot of fun for me achieving those things, but it's really no big deal because anyone can do it." There were smiles all over and a collective sigh of relief from those who sat in the control room when the shuttle got back safely. India proudly joined the rest of the world in celebrating the feats of her first space woman. She was an achiever, but she wanted to share her experiences with others.
A girl who has gone so far. She gave as a Guru Dakshina after her first Odyssey that 2 students of my school should come and see NASA's institute, how we people are working and what this institute is.
To Kalpana, NASA was the most vibrating nerve center for space research in the whole world. The research and development are at their best. She was an achiever, but she wanted to share her experiences with others. Every year, 2 girls from her school at Karnal are invitees to NASA, courtesy Kalpana.
And I went to NASA in 2002. First of all, when I met Kalpana Didi, she came there and I was just searching for her, and she came out of her car and she said, "I'm Kalpana Chawla." So I was very impressed by her because I was just her kind of girl. So I had a dream that I will also go like her. So it was a really amazing experience to meet her.
उसका मैच ही नहीं था। जहाँ उसकी मैं बातें सुनता हूँ, जहाँ मैं देखता हूँ, तो उसका कोई मैच नहीं है। पूरी दुनिया क्या, पूरी ग्लोब में नहीं है। मुझे अब पता चला है कि उसके स्कूल से हर साल 2 बच्चे जाते रहे हैं उसके पास, और वो मंगवाती थी।
Space is the future, but she had made a place for a whole generation to see it in the present.
Kalpana Didi, she called me at dinner. I was really amazed and very surprised over there. I got a shock over there that she has called me. And she told to me, "Sandeep, whatever dream you have, you must have to follow that. Look straight toward your dream."
The 16th of January 2003, the D-Day. Her second mission was STS-107. It would again be a 16-day mission. It is here that she secured a place in history as the first woman of Indian descent to slip the bounds of gravity and reach the final frontier.
Our mission is very exciting. We are basically doing everything that everybody wants to do on a mission. We have a deploy and a retrieve of a Spartan satellite, which is a solar observatory. We have a spacewalk, and we have lots of science experiments.
The 7 crew members were Rick D. Husband, Commander; William C. McCool, Pilot; Michael P. Anderson, Payload Commander; David M. Brown, Mission Specialist; Laurel B. Clark, Mission Specialist; Elon Raymond, Payload Specialist; and of course, Kalpana Chawla, mission specialist. The team believed and lived up to the concept. Together, each aim is met.
I will be doing the deploy and retrieve of the Spartan satellite, basically taking it out of the payload bay, putting it into space. We'll let it be there for about 2 days, and then we'll rendezvous back with Spartan, and then pick it back and put it back in the bay.
She sent messages to all her teachers, friends, and loved ones before her sojourn into space.
When she was to go for the second time on mission STS-107, she sent an email that she will like to carry an item for the students and the college in space with her, which will become a message to the students.
The second letter which we received recently for her second odyssey, she specially said it, I would like to have some sort of an insignia to carry into the space if it is sent by Miss Nirmala Nagudripad.
Kalpana was the mission specialist. The mission was to carry out tests for the release of the free-flying satellite to study the outer layers of the sun and the effect of microgravity on a variety of materials.
The science experiments, I'm sort of in charge of them. We have a lot of experiments which are sitting in the payload bay. Some of them are autonomous, they are controlled by ground, and some of them are inside the mid-deck, and I'll be doing hands-on interactive experiments there.
The 28th mission of the space shuttle Columbia was about to begin. Thursday, the 16th of January, 2003, the launch countdown proceeded as scheduled. 9:18 a.m. EST, a go was given to close the hatch. 10:10 a.m. EST, the countdown clock exited the planned hold at the T-20-minute mark. 10:31 a.m. EST, the countdown clock came out to the planned hold at T-9-minute mark. The final adieu was deeply felt.
What I remember is we were at the beach house at Kennedy Space Center. The beach house is basically a house right on the beach that's been converted for parties and for conferences and that kind of thing. It's a place for the crews to get away and relax prior to launch. And we had the crew toast then with some very good Israeli wine provided by Ilan Ramon. And Rick made quite a very, very good speech regarding the flight and the crew. And then I can't remember exactly what Kalpana said, but I remember after we left the building, it was dark, and then she was walking to the car to be taken to the crew quarters, and then I went behind her and hugged her and kissed her and told her I loved her, and then that was it.
107 was a multidisciplined microgravity and earth science research mission with a multitude of scientific investigations conducted continuously during the planned 16 days in orbit. The Space Shuttle Columbia had payload bays filled with a special pressurized laboratory. It was not just a flight out into space, it was designed for scientific studies. The 16-day mission was to focus primarily on scientific experiments in microgravity. The crew of 7 worked for 24 hours to complete an extensive program of tests. Kalpana was the mission specialist. The mission was to carry out tests on a new technology which could enable the permanent recycling of water there.
It is very gratifying and humbling, and it really is incredible to see that there are all these countries that are participating in this research, and basically they have one goal, which is to better understand these processes and then be able to use the benefits that come out of them. These processes may be in different areas, be it earth sciences, physical sciences, or life sciences. All of the experiments on this flight help us understand these processes better. And anytime we understand the processes better, we are better off as a species and as a result as a planet.
The Freestar payload, a hitchhiker payload, was used through the 870 Shuttle Small Payloads project. The Freestar consists of separate experiments. It was done on a cross-bay multi-purpose equipment support structure. The carrier avionics provides the interface to the electrical system, the payload power control, and command and telemetry capabilities. The experience of the unexplored was something that the whole crew treasured.
One day I was in the flight deck looking from the overhead windows outside, and it was starting to get dim outside, so you start to see your own reflection. And there is the earth limb outside. You can still see the earth's surface and the dark sky overhead. And I could then see my reflection in the window, and in the retina of my eye, the whole earth and the sky could be seen reflected. So I called all the crew members one by one, and they saw it, and everybody said, "Oh, wow."
The anticipated moment had arrived. Mission accomplished. Homecoming was now on the agenda. They were now ready for friends and family. After 15 days of round-the-clock experiments in complete isolation from the Earth, they would hear again the sounds of the world and its people.
Good morning, Ken. Good morning to all, and special good morning to my wife, Rona, the love of my life. רונה, אהבת חיי והילדים, אני אוהב אתכם, את כולכם, ומתגעגע. This was a small and a short sentence in Hebrew saying that I love them, I love Rona, and I love the kids, and I miss them.
9:16 EST, the 1st of February 2003. The touchdown was set. 8:15, Columbia begins its deorbit burn. 8:52, first indications of problems begin. Unusual temperature rise. 8:57, skin temperature sensors fail. Mission control contact shuttle Colombia, Houston, we see your tire pressure messages. We did not copy your last. There is a very short delay before the shutdown. Roger, the line is lost. 16 minutes before the landing. Excellence knows no boundaries. In my beginning is my end, and in my end is my beginning. Kalpana lived her life to inspire future generations to join her as a citizen of the galaxy.